Hey guys, and welcome back to the Cultras. I'm so excited to be back here. I've had a few things going on at work that I needed to wrap up. And since I've been gone, quite a few things have happened. Just from the Liverpool lens, we had the 7-2 Carabao Cup win against Lincoln. We then had the 3-1 masterclass against Arsenal in the Premier League. And then we had the 0-0 affair on Thursday where Liverpool crashed out. I don't know if we crashed out, but we went out 5-4 on penalties against Arsenal as well. But today's Saturday, it's the 3rd of October, and we're not playing till tomorrow. So that gives me a chance to speak about a couple of other things, not Liverpool related, because I think I already said I don't necessarily want to make the Cultras just about Liverpool. So I want to talk about two things today. And they are both on the blue side of the Northwest. So I think I'm going to just share some thoughts and opinions on Manchester City and on our crosstown rivals, Everton. I'm going to start with Man City. Since I last spoke to you in the Premier League, they were defeated by Leicester City, actually battered by Leicester City last weekend. And then today, they actually were held 1-1 against an awesome Leeds United team. And I just want to address a few things about Man City because before anything else, these guys were the bookies' favourites for the Premier League this season. It wasn't us. It wasn't Liverpool. If you watch the first episode from this season from myself, while I thought Liverpool were going to win the league, I myself was treading a bit carefully, but I did say Liverpool were going to win the league. For some reason, the experts and the bookies, a lot of people still fancied Manchester City, and I'm not sure why. I don't get why that was a thing. And I'm not saying it's coming crashing down right now. If you just think back to the Invincibles team in 2004, they started the next season, 04-05, like a steam train, and eventually didn't win the league. They ended up giving up their title to Chelsea. So just because of Liverpool's start and even Man City start, it doesn't really mean that we've won the league. Obviously, we are strong favourites from here on. But, the truth is, I just want to talk a bit about Manchester City. So the first thing is, what on earth is going on with their defence? You've got the new signing Ruben Diaz, cool, and today Aymeric Laporte played as well. And that's a great centre-back pairing. You can talk about Diaz having to acclimatise to the Premier League, and I know that's going to have to be a thing. But on paper, two great centre-backs. But Laporte doesn't play enough, firstly. And secondly, when you look at that back four now with Kyle Walker, and Mendy on the left, that's a 200 million back line. And yet, today, if it wasn't for Edison, who I actually rate, I don't think he's as good as Alisson. But he is a top draw goalkeeper. So, if it wasn't for Edison today, do they lose again to Leeds after they lost to Leicester last week? So lots and lots to talk about with Man City. Look at the midfield. So you've got Fernandinho, who's been one of the best players in the last 5 to 10 years, both obviously for Man City, but even in the Premier League, so influential, such a captain for Man City. And you've got the situation now where he is not necessarily a first team starter anymore. In his place, you've got Rodri, who I am a fan of, but, in certain situations, I'm not really sure he's there at the maturity level that you need to be a title contending team. So there's that one. What on earth happened to Bernardo Silva? It almost feels like he's gone off a cliff. Now, if you're a Liverpool fan, Liverpool fans have quite a lot of animosity with Bernardo Silva. He seems to want to call us out on Twitter all the time. I'm trying to make this platform, while it is obviously going to skew towards my support of Liverpool, I'm going to try to be as down the middle as I possibly can. And Bernardo Silva was world class a few years ago, but all his antics on social media aside, he's just not playing at that level at the moment. It looks like a different player altogether. And obviously, Kevin De Bruyne is the best player in the league, maybe the best midfielder in the world. So, there's not really much you can say about that. And then you look at the attack. So, Firstly, Raheem Sterling. Can I talk about Raheem Sterling because I'm a Liverpool fan? Will it be sour grapes if I talk about Raheem? I don't know. Like, would I swap him for Mane or Salah? Never, never would I swap him for Mane and Salah. So, arguably, do we sign one of those two great players if Raheem Sterling never leaves Liverpool? I don't know if we do. But the fact of the matter is, this guy's so wasteful. And yeah, I mean, he's a threat all the time. He's always looking to run in between the lines. He's always dangerous. There's no question. But the number of times he actually wastes chances, I'm okay with that being our rival's main attacking threat at the moment. Aguero is in the later part of his career, so that's going to be something that they need to monitor as it is. And lastly, Gabriel Jesus, well, obviously he's injured as well at the moment, but also he's not that guy. So the thing with Man City is it's all good. You know, are they going to finish in the top four? Yes. Are they going to finish in the top two? Probably. I think with distinction, to be honest, still. But this whole hoopla about them being the best team in the league or being the bookies' favourites, I just find it super confusing. You know, where we go from here, who knows? Because do they have the quality to put like 10, 15 game winning run together? Yeah, they actually do with their full team. Even Pep Guardiola, I feel for him on a human level. You know, he lost his mom to COVID-19. So despite all the criticisms of Pep, number one, I think he's a phenomenal coach anyway. Yeah, I mean, he's had a few challenges and he's got his biggest challenge at the moment, which is reinventing this Man City team. But also the whole thing about Man City in the Champions League is ridiculous. But even if you look at Pep Guardiola in the English league, there's never really been domination like it like it's been in the last couple of years. The guy takes City to every domestic cup. They've won 2 of the last 3 league titles. So within England, the jury's out. The jury's in, should I say. It's undisputed. His legacy within England is what it is. Outside England and within the context of the Champions League, 100%. He has so much to prove. There's a lot of pressure on Pep Guardiola this year. But one thing I will say as well is bigger legendary managers have had a sketchy European record coming from England. And I ain't going to call out any names right now, but people in glass houses need to not throw stones because there's particularly one manager whose European record is whack, to be honest. So, yeah, I don't know. I think my thing with Man City is if we finish ahead of them, I think we're going to win the league. They're going to get in the Champions League, but there's a lot for them to prove, and there's a lot of players playing for their future right now. Because one thing's for sure, their ownership group ain't playing. Like, they're not doing this for shits and giggles. And also, they got the money. They've just taken on UEFA this summer again. Not really wanting to get into that in this podcast, but they won. So they're going to keep spending as well. So there's a lot of players playing for their career at the moment. So it's going to be really interesting to see how that unfolds. And on the day, obviously, they can still smash anyone. So be super interesting to see how that unfolds. The second thing I want to talk about on this episode is Everton. Now, as a Liverpool fan, Everton has been quite a bit of comic relief, particularly over the last few years where we've been really good and evolving into European champions and then Premier League champions. But even before that, it's always been interesting to see what's happening in the blue half of Merseyside. And there's been a couple of like dawns, relatively speaking. They've still not won a trophy since 1995, so it is all relatively speaking. But you know, under Moyes, they got in the Champions League, which is crazy if you think about it, and a huge achievement. But I have to say, Carlo Ancelotti is the real deal. Like, he really is. If you look at his track record across the game, where he's won titles, European Cups with different teams, this Merseyside derby in a couple of weeks is going to be amazing, and I'm going to preview that properly closer to the time. But what I want to say is, having watched the Everton game today against Brighton, they are really, really good. And, you know, Got to call out a few people for some special praise. The first one is the number 9. Dominic Calvert-Lewin. So I was talking to my brother, and he seems to see shades of Didier Drogba in him, which I can see that particularly from the physical side. But I see Pippo Inzaghi. Like, you know, you look at the Carlo Ancelotti teams from Milan days. You look at the 2007 Champions League final in Athens. I was there, and I was devastated to think that they were the goals that we lost that Champions League final to. And who scored them? Super Pippo Inzaghi scored those goals. And Calvert-Lewin he has shades of a more physical Pippo Inzaghi to me. He's always in and around the box. It doesn't matter what like it comes off. It ends up going into the goal, and he has looked lethal this season. Obviously, there's a huge amount of praise that needs to be given to Duncan Ferguson for the little stint he had just before Ancelotti took over. He really showed faith in the striker, and you know, Calvert-Lewin has totally repaid that, and then this season he's taken it to a few other levels. Obviously, the signings of Alan and Decore are proving to be great signings as well. But the biggest thing I have to say is what a player James Rodriguez is. And listen, in 2 weeks' time, I'm going to be talking smack. In 2 weeks' time, I don't want any of these guys to have a good game. I don't want Everton to do well. I'm just trying to call it as I see it. But James Rodriguez is a baller. I called Thiago a baller last week, and James is one too. That left foot is incredible. It's not getting any worse from now on. He's relatively quick at the moment. He was never the quickest, but he's not short of pace. You've always got to remember with these guys as well, James being one. I said this about Bale last week. These guys add years on their career when they sit on these benches. So James has got some in the tank, but when he doesn't, when he has put the mileage on the clock, to keep the analogy going, he could go back and be a left-footed Pirlo. You know, that wand of a left foot is so friggin' cool to watch. Just seeing an artist at work, and you know, the different kinds of balls he can play. He did finish one with his right foot as well, but his cross today for Yerry Mina was just like, oh man, it's just like waiting to be attacked. It's literally a goal. Like, all you need is a touch, and that's why Calvert-Lewin's going to keep scoring goals as well. When you add Richarlison to that front three as well, with the mobility he's got, I don't know, like, are they going to break in the top 4 this year? Because there's not that much convincing across the board. I've already given some praise to Arsenal this season, so Arsenal, Chelsea, they're going to contend. I don't know. I just really wanted to talk about Everton today because it's pretty exciting for the city of Liverpool, and I have to say that this is a Merseyside derby that I'm going to be so friggin' excited for. I am going to record a video tomorrow after the Liverpool game because I do want to share. I just want to share a thought that I had, but Liverpool need to win tomorrow for me to actually share that thought. So watch this space tomorrow. But no, those two things were the ones I wanted to cover today. Manchester City and what's happening there. If Liverpool win tomorrow, they're already 8 points behind Liverpool. True that they've got a game in hand, but I mean, we saw last year what is a game in hand, and Everton as well. So that wraps it up for this episode. Excited for the Liverpool game tomorrow. I'm excited for a night match on a Sunday as well. You know, I'm coming at you right here from Toronto, so for me it's a 2:15 I think it is game. But yeah, always excited when Liverpool play on Sunday. It's the one thing, you wake up on Saturday and you're like, oh, we're not playing today, but then you've got the bonus of tomorrow. So gonna watch that game and maybe just share some thoughts and insights from that as well. But for now, thanks for watching. This has been The Cultura. Peace.